senior engineer opened a job offer with a salary too good to refuse, and that single PDF cost his company $600 million. To understand how, you first have to understand a game that, for a while, felt like a way out of poverty. It was called Axie Infinity, a game where you bred little creatures, battled them, and earned real cryptocurrency that you could turn into rent money. At its peak in 2021, millions were playing, and in places like the Philippines, some people quit their jobs to play it full-time. The game was built by a studio called Sky Mavis, and to move money in and out of it quickly, they built their own private highway off of Ethereum. They called it Ronin, and at the center of it sat a bridge, the vault that held everyone's real money as it crossed between worlds. To open that vault, you needed keys, 9 of them, held by 9 separate computers called validators. No single key could open it. You needed at least 5 turning at the same time. On paper, that made it almost impossible to rob. So the attackers didn't go after the lock, they went after the people holding the keys. It began, as these things often do, with a message on LinkedIn. A recruiter from an ambitious new company had been watching one of Sky Mavis's senior engineers, and they liked what they saw. They reached out, they flattered him, and then they invited him through round after round of interviews. There was just one problem with the company: it did not exist. After weeks of conversations, the offer finally arrived, a role and a salary generous enough to be hard to think clearly about. It came as a PDF. He downloaded it onto his work computer and he opened it. Nothing seemed to happen, but hidden inside that file was spyware, and it had just stepped quietly onto Sky Mavis's network. From that one machine, the intruders spread. Patiently, they moved through the company until they reached the validators, the keys themselves. They seized 4 of the 9 keys, but 4 was not enough. They still needed a 5th. And here is where a small, forgotten favor became a catastrophe. Months earlier, when the game was overloaded with players, Sky Mavis had been given permission to sign on behalf of an outside group, the Axie DAO, to keep things running. The emergency passed, but the permission was never switched off. That open door was still there, months later, waiting. The attackers walked through it and used that access to turn the 5th key, 5 of 9, the vault was theirs. On March 23, 2022, in just 2 transactions, they drained the bridge. 173,000 units of Ethereum, $25 million in stablecoin, more than $600 million, gone in moments. And then, nothing. No alarm sounded, no system flagged it. The biggest crypto theft in history had just happened in complete silence. 1 day passed, then 2. The money was already being scattered across the internet, and no one at the company even knew it was missing. 6 days. For 6 days, the vault sat empty and no one noticed. Then, on March 29th, an ordinary user tried to withdraw 5,000 of their own coins, and the transaction failed. They checked the bridge. The money that was supposed to be there simply wasn't. That was how the world found out. Investigators followed the money, and the trail led somewhere chilling, not to a lone thief, but to a nation. The United States attributed the attack to the Lazarus group, state hackers working for North Korea. The stolen fortune was washed through mixing services, broken into thousands of pieces, and funneled toward a sanctioned regime. Sky Mavis raised emergency money and promised to pay back every player, but the bigger lesson was harder to swallow. Their cryptography was never broken. Their code held. What failed was a human being on an ordinary afternoon opening a file he trusted. The strongest vault in the world still opens for whoever holds the keys, and the easiest way to steal a key has never been to break it. It's to be offered one.